Hello, friends. Happy holidays. And are viruses falling from the sky? You might think so based on all the ill people that I am seeing right now. And I've had people comment on my channel. They're spraying things from these orbs and these UAPs that we're seeing in the sky. Are they spraying us with something? Are they going to attack the new administration in January with a virus from the sky? I'm seeing all this stuff on the internet. And I can see how one would think that because, again, I've talked about the rates of walking pneumonia that I'm seeing that I haven't seen, well, especially in our younger population, ever. But let's talk about statistics because I am a licensed physician and I do currently treat patients. So to answer some of those questions out there, like what kind of doctor are you? I've got a lot of videos already out there. If you have watched my lives, I go into it on depth on that. So when you ask me that, it tells me you don't watch my channel and maybe do some homework and watch my other videos because I'm not going to explain it again. But I thought it was important though to talk about, especially during the holidays, we're all getting together, which I think we should. We should get together. But our virus is dropping from the sky. Well, my personal opinion on that, and I don't know 100%, I've caught these orbs and UAPs, whatever, over my house. I did a live on it, but my two shorts that I posted on are the best pictures and videos because 100% these weren't planes. I was out there, it was making no sound. And I'm sorry, I was kind of yelling and I was really upset and I was shaking when I was filming it because I kind of thought, oh, I wonder, I mean, they're all over New Jersey. I wonder if they're over my house. And I go out there and there's literally two, about 200 feet straight up over my house. And now, did I see them spraying anything? No. Do I personally think viruses are dropping from the sky? No, I really don't. But here's what you should know about this walking pneumonia going on. Now, I'm in Arizona, and in 2024 we had almost 600 cases of pertussis. Well, pertussis can cause walking pneumonia among children. Pertussis is it's dangerous to babies, especially if they're under 1 year of age, and to the very elderly and immunocompromised. It's something we were all vaccinated for when we were kids. You know, when you're kids, there's 5 DTaps in the series. You get starting at around, on average, like, because they've extended it out a little bit now, but about 3 months of age, and then about, a few months after that, and so on. I can't remember the exact date schedule, but about 5 DPTs for children. So that's diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. In our childhood years, there's about 5 of them. By the time you've hit first grade in America, you've had 5 of them. And then when kids reach the age between like right about 11 years old up until 12, they get a booster, and then it's called Tdap. That's tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis. So it doesn't matter. You can still get pertussis even if you're fully vaccinated. And that can lead to walking pneumonia or atypical pneumonia. So I'm just wondering, because not everybody gets tested for pertussis. A lot of doctors don't even think about that, really. But we've seen more and more cases of walking pneumonia since COVID. There's the statistics. So walking pneumonia, it always kind of goes in waves. Some years there's like a lot of them, and other years there's not. And that's right across the United States. I don't know about the world. I just kind of track Arizona and the United States. And so this is one of the years that mycoplasma pneumonia, which is, again, causes atypical and walking pneumonia. It's a small bacteria that can also cause that, besides pertussis, besides Haemophilus influenza, and chlamydia type pneumonia, which is another type of pneumonia, not spread through the traditional STD. So the interesting thing about pertussis or walking pneumonia, and even mycoplasma pneumonia in particular, you can be exposed. So say you're Christmas shopping, you're in one of the big department stores, someone's coughing their head off in line, and you're like, I'm good. And throughout the holidays, you feel great. Do you know that germ, that tiny bacteria, can be in your lungs and kind of waiting for its moment, kind of building up for several months before you get sick? Isn't that wild? However, someone that's more at risk will probably show symptoms much earlier than that. Like it can be 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes even 4 weeks before they full on show the full, that persistent dry cough. Sometimes it sounds like a wet, crackly cough. But clearly, those of us in healthcare, we know what that pneumonia cough sounds like. Some doctors do still need to order an x-ray to confirm it because sometimes they won't take it seriously unless you've had a cough for greater than 4 to 6 weeks. Then they'll be like, okay, let's order an x-ray. Meanwhile, you've had pneumonia for 4 to 6 weeks. But that's just how it is, right? In the practice of medicine. And I think you guys are all getting it by at this point. Like, healthcare is not a perfect science. That's why we call it the practice of medicine. We're literally practicing on you. So, good doctors can only do the best they can do. And I've been following a channel lately that kind of talks on this. It's called Gooby and Doobie. I'm sure you've seen it. He is I think he's an orthopedic surgeon, if I'm not mistaken, that quit because he was calling it like you eat what you kill. So basically surgeons are paid based on the surgeries they do. So I think his whole mental break came when it's such an industry to make money is doing surgeries on these people, which so many side effects and sometimes bad outcome. His soul just couldn't take it anymore, his morality and his ethics. And so he's retired, and he talks about leaving medicine. In that video, I want to say it's gotten 20 million views because you can see it just broke him, And most doctors, honestly, are in it for the right reason. But look, it's like any profession. No one's perfect. No one's always in anything for the right. Okay, let's stop going off on tangents and get back to what we were talking about. So all I'm trying to say is walking pneumonia is on the uptick. So, and pertussis, if you're pregnant or you have a young baby, it's really not the time, I don't think, to take a baby, especially if they're under 2 months of age. Like, we're going to take them to the huge Christmas party where there's 30 relatives and everyone's coughing and passing around the baby. Like, no. I mean, if they're under 2 months of age, no. You can wait till next Christmas. How about that? Do whatever you want, but there you go. Because it is on the rise in Arizona, and I'm tracking my numbers in Arizona. I don't know about the rest of the United States, but people commented on my channel like, wow, yes, my daughter just had pneumonia. My grandmother just had pneumonia. Like, everyone's getting pneumonia right now. So what else can we do? I mean, get as healthy as you can. Yes, of course, a Z-Pak or a azithromycin will kick off or kill pneumonia, will also take care of pertussis and all that. Love a Z-Pak, love azithromycin. It's a 5-day course. However, it can cause QT elongation syndrome. So if I have someone with a cardiac history or if I'm worried about that, I'm probably not going to use a Z-Pak on them or azithromycin. Maybe I'll jump to doxycycline. But that causes a lot of gut issues as well. So you've got to take your probiotics and whatnot. But, right now I'm sitting in front of a very sunny window and I'm going to get some sunshine here in a minute. You got to get your sunshine. I'm blessed to live in Arizona in the desert. Yeah, I pay the price in the summer, but right now in the winter, 2 days ago, it was like 80 degrees in December here. Yeah. So we get a little gift in the winter here, but the summers are brutal. Don't get me wrong. And who knows how long the water will last here. Let's be honest. My family and I have already been talking about that. Like, how many years left do you think we can stay in the desert? Because water's running out. So we're trying to come up with a game plan. Michigan, you might be seeing my family. I'm just saying. The Great Lakes, if you don't have property in the Great Lakes, I'm literally thinking about buying some property there. Just, a hedge for the future. I love Arizona, though. I think only those that can probably afford a cistern or some type of, because there's no well in my area. There's just, the rocks are huge. You can't dig for a well. And there's no water down here anyway. A huge cistern or water, and I could see if some trucks would, truck in water from the Colorado River or the Great Lakes, and you're going to pay thousands of dollars for that. This is just my estimation. So I think that's where we're heading, yet we keep developing here in Phoenix because, yeah, that's what developers do. They develop. They're not really thinking about the future of water here. If they can get in and get out and make some millions, I mean, you can't blame people for wanting to make a living. You really can't. But, sorry, yet another tangent. But anyway, something always leads to something. But sunshine, yes. Get out and sit in the sun. If you're pale like me, right, I'm almost transparent, 15 minutes tops. But if you have more melanin or more color to your skin, you got to do 30 minutes to get that good body's ability to produce vitamin D. It does that, right? It does that from sunlight. So that's one good thing to protect, boost your immune system. We all know this, but do we do it? I don't know. I love for myself and my patients, I'm not telling you what to do. You can talk to your doctor about this. N-acetylcysteine or NAC. It's so great for the respiratory system. It's so protective. People can be allergic to it, so especially if you have a sulfa allergy. So again, talk to your own medical provider. But I love N-acetylcysteine for lung health. And of course, vitamin C doesn't get the recognition it needs. It's great to take vitamin C every day for sure, but IV vitamin C for treating pneumonia and respiratory infections. So we're lucky in Arizona. They really like medical entrepreneurs. And so everywhere I go, I see these IV vitamin drip centers that you just go in and you get an IV. And if they're doing it the right way, the sterile way, they're using a sterile hood, they're doing it like the way it should be done, then it's really safe. Before getting an IV of vitamin C, you have to be tested for G6PD, which stands for glucose 6-phosphate deficiency, if I can remember right, G6PD. Because if someone gives you an IV of vitamin C and you have that inherited condition, it can kill you. I mean, not to be dramatic, but you can get extremely ill. So if you walk into an IV place and they're like, yeah, we'll give you some, you have that bad cough, we're going to hit you with some IV vitamin C, and they don't run a lab on you to check for G6PD, like, I wouldn't go there, right? You may have heard of Myers cocktail. It's another type of IV you can get loaded with B vitamins and vitamin C, and sometimes they throw some zinc in there, which is highly antiviral. It's kind of great. But again, some basic blood work should be done to make sure, are your kidneys functioning, liver functioning? Do you have G6PD? Because, your body has to eliminate all that IV. So that's just a word of caution, off on another tangent. But, eating healthy, whole foods, avoid the fried foods, avoid processed foods, right? Are you guys hearing about this enough on the internet? And you all know, I know your mothers or your grandmothers or your aunts, when they were making you food, were like serving vegetables, salads, and baked chicken or, the meat or whatever. You used to have regular meals. And if not, I remember when we moved to Arizona, I went to a school in Paradise Valley, and I just remember the cafeteria lunch was because we came from Chicago, it was the best lunch I ever had. It was this delicious baked chicken, and there was some green beans, which I didn't love, but for some reason these were good. I think there was some butter on them, which is great, by the way, butter and butyric acid. Butter gets a bad rap, but any day of the week, I'll choose butter over any of these oils or margarines, right? Butter. Unless you have lactose intolerance or a dairy issue or whatnot. And I get it. If you're a vegan, you're not doing dairy. But it was so delicious because it was all I don't know, it tasted homemade. It probably was, because this was over 40 years ago. But now it breaks my heart. I see what kids are eating on the daily. And, for the most part, they're not getting that. So, but that's really great for health and the immune system. Go back to I know it takes time to cook, but if you can eat more whole foods, cook at home, just get those ingredients. It's not the worst idea either. When you're cooking at home, you're kind of storing up more things to cook, your multitude of different kind of beans. They're so good for bringing down blood sugar. Talk about weight loss. If you're I can't go on a diet, I'm always hungry. You got to get on some beans. I'm telling you, black beans, pinto beans, whatever beans you like. Beans are so good for you. They help with insulin resistance. They bring blood sugar down. They're high in fiber, and they fill you up so you're not hungry, and they taste good. So get yourself a variety of beans. Store up some beans so you can always cook them, because, sometimes it takes a whole 24 hours to really cook them from scratch in the crock pot or however you like to do beans. So, staying as healthy as possible. So getting back to our viruses dropping from the sky, I know it seems that way. I don't personally believe that's how it's happening, because I do see patients, and I'm not asking were you outside like me scanning for UAPs and orbs and all that? And Yeah, no. For the most part, they were home or they at work, not getting a lot of outside time. Yet, oh yeah, they had a coworker or a family member a few weeks ago. They were just coughing so much, or they were at yoga and the person next to them was coughing their head off, or they were Christmas shopping and the person behind them in line was coughing. Like, that's where it's coming from. Walking pneumonia is extremely contagious. But don't get me wrong, I'm not out there wearing a mask and avoiding people, because we're humans and we're having a human experience, and I'm all about connection and seeing your friends and your loved ones. But, try to up your health game a little bit. And common sense, like, I'm not going to the movies right now because I would prefer to, watch it here at home on the big screen, and it's more comfortable. And I am older. Like, I don't want to have someone coughing behind me and right next to me if I can help it. Plus, I don't know them. They're strangers. I don't need to sit with strangers. Right? Plus, like, if you're like me, as I get older, I just love being in my home, right? Because I'm always out working. So it's nice to just be at home. Okay. Happy holidays. I'm going to thank you for being here. I'm still watching the skies. Again, there's 2 shorts that I filmed, got some UAPs. Again, I did not see anything spraying out of them. Those of you asking, the lights were very unusual because I noticed they were red and green, and then they would switch to white and then a weird light blue aqua color. And I was like, what in the world? And on all these if you're still here watching, then you are a follower of my channel. No, I'm very open-minded because, that's where discovery lays, right? But some reputable channels that I've been watching are finding these, not just UAPs that look like drones, but really unusual looking orbs of light. And they're calling them plasma balls. Like, what are these things? Like, what are these things? And why was there a secret classified government meeting for 3 hours to talk about what these things were? But yet we're being told, oh, it's nothing to worry about, yet we don't know what these are. Hey, and a couple people commented on my channel too, like, just two out of thousands, right? So it's not a big deal, but they're like, stop spreading fear. What? Asking questions, asking what's going on and things I've never seen before is spreading fear. Like, that's bizarre. But you're always going to get a little interesting comments. I get interesting comments. Yes, I do. So anyway, that's on today's topic. I'll check in with you guys again tomorrow, because I think for the rest of December, I'm going to try to post a video every day because I have a little bit blocked off some of my schedule to enjoy the holidays, right? Lower my cortisol, get a little healthier. I'm going to try to work out more. Anyway, okay, I'll see you on the next one.